Hello and welcome to Housing TV News at the top of the hour, coming to you from our studio in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Maimuna Bagudu. Our top stories. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, urges the National Assembly to enact laws banning vote buying. Ondo, Osun, Ekiti collaborate to strengthen open government partnerships. Federal government to meet with stakeholders to cut housing costs. From the foreign scene, Australia imposes 2-year ban on foreign housing investment. We begin with national matters. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has called on the National Assembly to enact stricter laws prohibiting the possession of large sums of money within the polling areas as part of efforts to curb vote buying and other electoral malpractices. INEC Director of Litigation and Prosecution Tamino Mohammed said this at the consultative meeting with security operatives and the Technical Committee on Electoral Law Amendments in Abuja on Friday. He highlighted the growing concern over vote buying, which has become a major threat to Nigeria's democratic process, stating that the unrestricted cash at polling stations is responsible for vote buying that compromise integrity in the nation's electoral process.
The issue of vote buying, as canvassed by ICPC, the National Assembly needs to enact specific legislation proscribing certain acts or prohibiting possession of certain amount of money within the polling area. Otherwise, as said, the politician always argue that, yes, we need to pay our party agents. So, sir, nobody should carry more than 50,000 around it.
His position was further supported by the Ondo State Resident Electoral Commissioner and other stakeholders. In his submission, the representative of the Inspector General of Police, Abayomi Shogule, called for more funding for the police to enable it to nip such unwholesome practices in the board.
I think we should fix an amount of money that falls within the range of what you need, maybe to buy a bottle of drink and to transport yourself back to your house. I do not think, because people vote within their area. If you have 2,000 naira for transport and 1,000 for a drink and biscuits, I don't think anybody should possess more than 3,000 naira within the vicinity. 3,000 to 5,000, sir. Because most of the time, voting and accreditation is simultaneous. Voting and accreditation is simultaneous. So when you finish voting, most voters go back to their houses after voting.
In most cases, there have been issues of logistical challenges, you know, in terms of the vehicles, resources needed to move the men to where they're actually needed. And that's why you see we make use of rented vehicles from Road Transport Union a lot. But I want to believe if we have adequate patrol vehicles, apart from using the patrol vehicles for their normal duties when there are no elections, we can also make use of such patrol vehicles for deployment of the men as the case may be. To the best of my knowledge, sir, when we check the Electoral Acts, it is there. It is the INEC it is INEC officials that will say this person has committed an offense. Unlike the general norm where a police officer can arrest somebody he has seen committing an offense. But if the INEC official or the ad hoc staff there, if they have not said that, look, this person has done this, in most cases it's always very difficult. Then at the end of the day, even when the police effect the arrest, it is still INEC that will still prosecute. In codifying INEC's regulations, if INEC has said this, so the National Assembly should put it in the various laws and then we enforce.
In their responses, Chairman of the joint session assured that all issues raised will be addressed in the ongoing reforms by the National Assembly.
We are going to look at all these things so that we can streamline our laws to make sure it is easily implementable. And we now call back at the end of the day to let people know. We are going to improve on our awareness program. The political parties, INEC, civil societies, everybody must be involved in ensuring that we educate the people. Sometimes you talk to someone and you're talking about election, you say, no, the way we did it during MPN. Who is talking about MPN period now? We are talking about the new act. 2022 act is out of the way. We are going to have the 2025. Nobody should be talking about the 2022 again, talk less of MPN days. So people should know that when it comes to law, the newest edition is the only valid law. And that is how we can make sure that at least with such enlightenment at the grassroots, people really understand. And what happens if you violate some of these laws? Once people know, sometimes you know that, look, it's not worth it. I can't go to jail because I just want to help someone win election. And you know the consequence. Then at the end of the day, I think it will reduce the tendency for people to commit all these electoral offenses.
It is a known fact that when the Electoral Act of 2022 was made, the belief was that it was the best. But as soon as we put it to practice in the 2023 elections, we realize that there are still a lot of gaps that need to be filled. It is crucial to acknowledge the trust deficit in various parts of the country, particularly concerning security issues. These concerns include the protection of ballot boxes, the safe transfer of election results from polling units to collation centers, and manipulation of results, especially in rural areas. I urge us to put our minds together and chart a way forward to strengthen our security through a robust electoral legal framework for the development of our democracy, ensuring the well-being of it.
The meeting was organized by the Joint Senate and House of Representatives Committees on Electoral Matters in collaboration with the Policy and Legal Advocacy Centre and supported by the UK Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office. Honorable Leke Joseph Abejide, the Asiwaju Yoruba of Kano State and House of Representatives member for Yagba East, Yagba West and Mopa Muro Federal Constituency, has called on Yoruba people living in northern Nigeria to unite and support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. Abejide made this appeal during the 10th anniversary celebration and election of new executives of the Association of Yoruba Traditional Leaders and Obas of Northern States and the FCT held in Abuja. Addressing journalists at the event, Abejide described the gatherings as a symbol of Yoruba cultural pride and a demonstration of the Yoruba people's influence across Nigeria.
That's what we are doing today is very unique in the sense that it's showcasing the culture, the value, and the importance of Yoruba race in Nigeria. Yoruba people in this country are not second citizens. Everywhere we find ourselves, we excel. People like me, I lived in Kano for about 32 years. And I entered Kano as nobody, but I came out as somebody. Through the grace of God. And our population in Kano State, if you count us one after the other, we are not less than 5 million Yorubas living in Kano State alone. We can even determine who will be governor of Kano State. That is how important we are in Kano. And I believe in other areas of the northern Nigeria. Let me congratulate you for your 10th year anniversary, and I pray that this occasion will be just a stepping stone. The next one is going to be a great candor, superlative, excellence that will bring Jim people in the society. By the grace of God. All the traditional rulers here today, I want you to know that I, Elder Leke Joseph Abejide, will support you if and only if you will work along with me to support the president.
We move to Taraba State now. In a significant boost to healthcare delivery, Taraba State has been recognized for its outstanding achievements under the Gavi UNICEF partnership. Speaking at a press conference in Jalingo, the chief of UNICEF's Bauchi Field Office, Dr. Nushat Rafiku, commended the state for its dedication to strengthening its health systems. She stated that Taraba State is among the 8 states in Nigeria benefiting from the Gavi UNICEF Memorandum of Understanding, which aims to improve healthcare systems, especially for mothers and children. Dr. Rafiku, chief of UNICEF Bauchi Field Office, applauded the state's remarkable commitment to this cause.
This is one of the MOU that had been implemented in 8 states in Nigeria, and Taraba is one of the states under Bauchi Field Office along with Gombe. Taraba is one of the states, I'm very happy to say, who has done very well under this Gavi UNICEF state government of Taraba MOU as a tripartite MOU, and they have shown excellent results because of the commitment, leadership, and their commitment, leadership, and dedication to the cause of better health system for mothers and for children. One of the key things I would like to highlight is that Taraba has become one of the states in Nigeria, very few states, who have 0 dose, 0 children. Infrastructure has been improved a lot under this MOU. What we evidenced today, we saw facilities. Human resource has been induced more into the system, and you know that without human resource, no health system can operate optimally. So there has been 450 health facilities under this MOU who have extra human resource.
She also highlighted significant infrastructural improvements under the partnership. She revealed that 450 health facilities now boast additionally highly trained human resources, ensuring better service delivery for the state's population. Adding to the commendations, the Executive Secretary of the State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Nuhu Tukura, emphasized the numerous benefits of the partnership. He assured that sustaining these gains remains a priority for the Taraba State government.
If you look at all the areas that this MOU covers, from the leadership, I will tell you Taraba State, it has never, the leadership at the governance level, we've never had it so good until this MOU came on board. This MOU has brought a lot of good things for us, and we are looking forward as a state, how do we continue from where this MOU is ending? One, in our 2025 budget, through the federal government policy of this SWAP, sector-wide approach, this renewable health sector investment initiative, we're able to have for the first time developing the annual operational plan from the facility down to the local government and then down to states. It is there in the budget.
The governments of Ondo, Osun and Ekiti State are strengthening the open government partnership concept to enhance good governance in the states. At the Southwest Regional Meeting on Open Government Partnership held in Akure, the state and non-state actors from the Ondo, Osun and Ekiti State reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening OGP in the 3 states. The meeting, facilitated by the African Center for Leadership, Strategy and Development, was attended by top government officials and leaders of civil society organizations from the 3 states. The state and non-state actors presented reports on OGP progress in the states and promised to step up their efforts to ensure service delivery to the people.
The essence of this meeting is to bring states in the Southwest region who have signed up to the OGP and have a functional state action plan to come and share lessons and learnings from implementing the OGP. So it's a form of peer learning and shared learning for state to see, oh, what are we doing well? What are the challenges we've encountered? How are we going to surmount those challenges? And generally, what are the updates on the performance of our action plan so we can learn from one another?
And so the advent of OGP made the issue of transparency, accountability, an easy one. Currently, we have a website where we publish the state budget, annual budget, and there are tracking tools to evaluate all these budget performances. Now, inclusivity, CSOs are always included in most of the budget preparation processes, and good enough, the citizens' participation is guaranteed because inputs are being sought from the 3 senatorial districts of Ondo State.
Knowing fully well that Ekiti State has been doing well in implementation of OGP with focus on SDG, Sustainable Development 2030. So all government activities, MDAs, they were geared towards implementation and achievement of SDG through OGP platform, especially transparency, citizenship engagement.
But as a state, it is not that we are being forced to be open, to be transparent. And in terms of the thematic areas that we keyed into as a state, we look at those very critical issues, very critical areas that will make a state to be truly open. And that was why we keyed into fiscal transparency and civic engagement.
In the preparation of budgets, we have to engage the people to know what they actually want, put it in the budget, and to see how far we are able to implement, that is, provide those things they requested for from the government. And so in Osun State, we are engaging the people in the budgeting processing. At the same time, we are talking of a feedback strategy. We have a very functional website whereby we used to post all the activities of the government for the whole world to check.
In Osun State, the state government says efforts are on top gear to address the problem of malnutrition in the state. The State Commissioner for Economic Planning, Budget and Development, Professor Moruf Ademola Adeleke, said the state government has put necessary mechanisms in place to curb malnutrition in the state. He said this in Osogbo, the state capital, during a 2-day workshop on validation of Osun State's multi-sectoral plan of action for food and nutrition covering 2025 to 2029. The permanent secretary in the ministry, Alice Yetunde Esan, said the objective is to harmonize all stakeholders' input to facilitate the finalization and production of the strategic document, which is meant to guide the implementation of food and nutrition policy in the state. We'll take a pause here. News stories from the build sector are up next. Stay with us.
Get credible and authentic housing news at your fingertips by downloading the Housing TV mobile app. You can also join the African International Housing Show live from across the globe through the Housing TV mobile app. The mobile app features live streaming and trending housing news. You can locate the AIHS venue via the app, network with AIHS seasoned speakers, and live chat with exhibitors. You can also order house or building materials at AIHS via this app. Download the Housing TV mobile app now from the App Store and Google Play Store. And don't forget to click on the notification button. Available for both iOS and Android users. Housing TV is also on Star Times, channel 149 decoder.
You're still watching Housing TV News at the top of the hour. Now to the build sector. The federal government, through the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, has announced a meeting with stakeholders to address challenges in the building materials sector and reduce housing construction costs in Nigeria. The meeting, which will be held in Lagos, will unite industry experts, manufacturers and policymakers to explore ways to cut production costs and enhance local access to building materials, which has been a barrier to housing growth. Festus Adebayo, convener of the African International Housing Show AIHS and a leading advocate for housing sector reforms, will join the discussion to offer insights on how policy interventions and industry collaborations can promote cost-effective housing development. However, with the government's renewed focus on addressing the housing crisis, stakeholders are hopeful that the meeting will result in actionable solutions to reduce construction costs and speed up housing delivery nationwide. The Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, and the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment stakeholders at the conference organized by SON has highlighted that non-compliance with construction standards has caused building collapses and property damage. In a communique signed by SON Director General Dr. Ifeanyi Chukwunonso Okeke, built environment professionals stated that foreign construction standards should be adapted to suit local conditions, as highlighted at the Conference on Sustainable Building Practices. However, the conference urged qualified professionals to handle building designs, enforce material certification and penalties for non-compliance, along with regular integrity tests on reproposed buildings. The communique called on the National Assembly to pass the National Building Code, which had been on the shelves for years, into law as part of efforts to stem building collapses. The Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria, ACON, has raised concerns over violations of advertising regulations by forex traders, investment solicitors, and property realtors, warning of sanctions for non-compliance. The agency's Director General, Lekon Fadolapo, stated that forex traders, investment solicitors and property realtors have been spreading misinformation, unsubstantiated claims and false promises which often lead to unredeemable offers and in some cases cause medical challenges. He therefore advised the public on the need to be cautious and meticulous while making investment decisions with unverified organizations, advertising their services with unsubstantiated claims and unverified promises. We'll move to the FCT, where the Federal Capital Territory Administration has urged public and private sector investors to seize investment opportunities in Abuja to boost the social-economic well-being of residents. The coordinator of the Abuja Infrastructure Investment Center, Oladiran Akindele, during the FCT-wide Investment Forum 2025, has urged investors to take advantage of infrastructure projects led by FCT Minister Nyesom Wike to drive economic growth. Dr. Oluwakorede Matulukoro, represented by Rotimi Ojo, however, discussed key reforms to improve the business climate through the FCT Ease of Doing Business Secretariat, announcing the FCT Minister's approval of a steering committee to simplify tax policies and reduce bureaucratic barriers, boosting investment and sustainable development. From the foreign scene, the United States envoy to Nigeria and ambassador to Nigeria, Richard Mills Jr., has disclosed that Nigerian deportees will be dropped in Lagos. Mills Jr. also explained that convicted prisoners will be among the first set of Nigerian deportees. He spoke during an audience with Nigerian Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Bianca Odumegu Ojukwu. Odumegu Ojukwu has called on the U.S. government to follow laid-down conventions on the deportation of persons in repatriating immigrants in their country. Australia has announced a 2-year ban on foreign buyers purchasing existing homes in a move to increase housing availability for locals, taking effect from April 1st to March 31st, 2027. This was announced by Treasurer Jim Chalmers, Housing and Homelessness Minister Claire O'Neills and the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. Under the ban, Foreign investors, including foreign-owned companies and temporary residents, will be prohibited from purchasing established homes in Australia. Housing Minister Claire O'Neill clarified that the proposed 2-year ban on foreign buyers is not a silver bullet for Australia's housing crisis, but aims to make more homes available to local buyers. However, some economists argue that the ban will have little impact on affordability, as foreign buyers own only about 2% of the country's housing stock. That's the much we can take on Housing TV News at the top of the hour. Before we go, a quick recap of our top stories. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, urges the National Assembly to enact laws banning vote buying. Ondo or Shunekiti collaborate to strengthen open government partnership. Federal government to meet with stakeholders to cut housing costs. From the foreign scene, we saw Australia imposes 2-year ban on foreign housing investments. For more news in the housing sector, subscribe to Housing TV Africa on YouTube and follow Housing TV on all social media platforms. Download the Housing TV Africa mobile app on Google Play Store and Apple Store to stay connected. Thanks for watching and bye for now. I am Mimana Bagudu.
Housing TV Africa, your first in housing news.
Join us on a captivating experience through the dynamic world of town planning in Nigeria as we delve into the visionary projects and insights of top experts, witnessing the remarkable transformation of spaces into extraordinary communities. Immerse yourself in engaging discussions with leading town planning professionals as they address critical issues and offer innovative solutions to empower communities. Experience the pulse of the cities of tomorrow on City Pulse, a weekly television program presented by the National Institute of Town Planners. Gain exclusive behind-the-scenes looks and discover groundbreaking strategies shaping the urban landscape. Don't miss a beat. Showing weekly on Housing TV Africa. Star Times Channel 149.